Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Social Hotelier podcast with me, Sam-Erik. What if the future of hospitality isn't driven by technology alone, but by human energy? My guest, Dr. Meng-Mei Chen, a marketing faculty member at École Hotelier Hospitality Business School in Lausanne, she has extensive hospitality experience and understands the heartbeat of the industry. I read her posts in the hospitality newsletter. I have read several of her posts, in fact, and one particular article inspired me so much because it challenges our way of thinking about hospitality. And it is so refreshing to see that point of view about hospitality. And in our conversation, we explore how niche strategy, distribution choices, robotics, and today's talent challenges are deeply connected to one thing, the guest brand experience. As the author of Hospitality Vibes, she shares clear and practical insights on how leaders can move beyond transactions and create hotels that feel magnetic, places where people connect, belong, and leave energized. This episode challenges conventional thinking and offers a fresh human-centered perspective on where hospitality is heading next. So welcome, Maggie, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Hi, Sam-Erik. Thank you very much for the invitation. And hello, everyone. I'm Meng-Mei Chen. I'm from Lausanne, and this is my pleasure to be here with you.
Excellent. So first, to give our audience some background, could you share what challenges you have noticed in the hotel industry and that the industry has difficulty talking about and prompted you to write the book Hospitality Vibes?
Thank you very much. I have noticed three trends. The first one is Airbnb and short-term rentals. We know that more and more customers are trying Airbnb and short-term rentals. And the problem is this, when more and more people try, these people, their intention to stay in hotels decline. On Booking.com, its annual report 2024, it stated that one third of their business went to short-term rentals. This became a serious problem for me because I am a faculty member at the Lausanne. And we need to figure out why customers are moving into short-term rentals. And what can we do to bring these guests back to hotels? So that's one trend I have observed over the years. The second trend is about delivery service. We know that the restaurant industry is a major sector for the hospitality industry. And before COVID, people already order food. The problem is this, after the COVID pandemic, people continued their behavior. And this is a challenge for the restaurant industry because the restaurant industry has a different cost structure. You need to pay for the space, right? And the commission from the delivery platform is not cheap. So for me, the question is, how do we bring restaurant customers back to restaurants? We will need to offer more than just food because they can get food at home, right? Then the third one is about talent shortage. Now we know that our industry has not been the preferred employer brand for a long time. And after the pandemic, unfortunately, our industry still has not changed its image, and we are still short of talents. And many people see this industry as a stepping stone to go somewhere else. So with these three problems, vacation rentals, delivery service, and talent shortage, I believe that we have seen a perfect storm. And then the question is, what are we going to do? Of course, it's easier to say that, well, let's wait. Let's just cut the cost and we wait when the business dynamic change. But I think we could also think differently. We try to figure out a different vision, a different future for the hospitality industry. And we transform ourselves to become stronger and more resilient. And this is why I wrote Hospitality Vibes, because I believe that in the future, the hospitality industry need to change its value proposition. It need to be the place where people can find human interactions. And that's why I'm so happy to be here with you, Sam-Erik, because your podcast is the social hotelier, right? So that's why social is so important. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that has also kind of worried me because the industry keeps talking about the same thing all the time, and they're complaining about short-term rentals, and then they don't see the opportunity. How can you create a different energy for people to give them a reason to come to the hotel? And I think this is one of the things. Could you talk about that kind of energy that need to be inserted? So could you talk about the concept you describe about relational energy?
Yes. Relational energy actually is the emotional energy generated or depleted during social interactions. So we all know an uncle who actually complains about everything. The coffee is too cold, the weather is too hot, and he has problem everywhere. And you know that you spend 5 minutes with this uncle, you feel like it has been 5 years, right? But then you also know somebody who is very nice, maybe it's your neighbor. Every time when you see her, she is smiling at you, ask you about your family, ask how you are doing, give you her homemade cookie. And you just say, oh, what a nice lady, right? And actually, this is true. When we interact with people, we sometimes gain energy, just like when we interact with this nice lady, or sometimes we lose energy. So the society now has changed to become even more individualized. And the hospitality industry, I believe that can fill in this gap because in the past, we have our social support. In the past, people went to church, right? And then they socialize with their neighbors. But now more and more people are moving away from their hometown, go abroad, move to big cities where people just live in their apartments. They don't have their social support with them. And I believe that the hospitality industry can be the place. We always say we are the home away from home. But instead of just offering the bed and food, we should offer this human interaction. So people will feel like, okay, you know what? I have a bad day. Let me go to this hotel. Let me talk to the bartender, right? And I think that's what we need to aim for. We need to think about what we can offer, but short-term rental and the delivery service cannot offer. That's the human touch.
Okay. So if this relational energy is a real differentiator, how do leaders measure and cultivate something that doesn't show up on a traditional P&L statement, yet determine whether a guest feels energized or depleted?
Well, there are two ways. The first one is actually we can observe customers' behavior, right? We know that, for example, when we go to a concert, we feel the vibe. You can see that, right? So I think that's one thing we can observe. We can ask customers, how do you feel? You know, they will tell you, do you have a good day, good vibe, right? And on the other hand, you also know that, you know, the popular restaurants, it's very obvious that you can see how people interact with each other and people are having a good time. So I think that's the second part. I really believe that we can ask customers directly through survey to measure relational energy. Then we can also observe the results on our financial statement because the occupancy should go up. The number of guests should increase. And for restaurant, maybe the turnover will be a little bit lower because people are having so much fun together, right? But eventually this will reflect on your P&L. And I always tell people that, you know what, think about this. When you want to pick a hotel or restaurant, you want to go to the popular one. You don't want to go to the one where nobody is there, right? So I think if you create this relational energy, you create a vibe, then this vibe will drive other people to join this because people want to be there. They don't want to miss a good party.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, working in my entire career in the industry, I learned uh, to observe people, and you sometimes you don't really have to say anything. You can see from their body language, from the measure, from the whether they are ready to have eye contact with you, and so on. So you can make a huge difference by kind of looking in the eye, and there's always about that magic 10 seconds where you can make the difference if people feel welcome to your place, isn't it?
Exactly. And I really believe people appreciate that.
Yeah.
Simply ask them, how was your day? Where did you go? What did you eat? Do you, anything I can help? Things like this. Even people don't need anything. They feel your energy. They know you care.
Yeah.
And that's enough, you know?
But I also think that now when we are designing hotels, we are still living in the 18th century where we have this reception desk, like in a post office, which separating the guest from the staff. And I think we need to get away from all these frictions, physical frictions that actually, in a way, are creating this kind of a block between the guest and the staff. And I think the whole key about providing one of the great experiences to make it frictionless even before they arrive, that once they arrive, they start to feel at ease, and then they can set themselves in the mood of having a great experience that we are partly responsible to creating for them.
I agree. I think, you mentioned a very good point. It's like, okay, even before we can already show them something. So we know that almost every hotel send out at least 3 emails. The first one is to ask them to confirm the reservation. The second one is to sell the upgrade. The third one is tell them that you can check in now, right? But you know that they all look like this. They all look exactly the same. So why don't we send something with a joke, with a photo? So put people in the right mood. Tell them that when you are here, guess what? At 3 o'clock, we have a cooking lesson. At 6 o'clock, we have a happy hour, and, adults and children are all welcome, blah, blah, blah. That really make people anticipate for this trip. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You have also talked about something called themed experiences. Could you talk about that concept and what it means, and just give me some examples how you see that working in hotels?
Very good. I really believe that in order to create vibe, we need to be disciplined. So what does that mean? That means we need to basically go for niche market. We cannot please everybody. We need to have the courage to say no to some customers, and we'll focus on just some customers. So I have 2 examples, but the first one I want to talk about is something everybody is comfortable with, Lego. Many people play Lego, right? And I also know that Lego fans, they organize their meetup everywhere in the world. So I always wonder why hotels don't take these opportunities. They can host Lego meetup, right? So all the people who like Lego will come. They come and then they will have fun because they meet other people who love playing Legos. They like to discuss about Legos. And this vibe, positive energy will be attached to your place. If you are disciplined enough to do this on a regular basis, let's say every month, okay, then you are going to build your reputation among Lego fans. I believe this is how we build a niche market. Some hotels, they use their physical design. So for example, I went to 25-hour hotels in Dubai. In their lobby, it's like a library. And as soon as I walked in, I was like, wow, I know immediately several of my friends will love it because it's like wall-to-wall novels. And I know my friends will enjoy spending several days there doing nothing, just enjoying novels. Yeah. And I think the hotel can do even better to have some activities for these book lovers. So for example, every night or happy hour, you can say everybody has 3 minutes to talk about their favorite book or favorite author. And the book lovers, they like to listen to each other. Maybe you like this book. Oh, I like this one very much too. But you know what? Another author also write like this. And this is how you start to create a vibe.
Very good. Yeah, the Lego experience made me really immediately think that, what if some of the staff are fascinated about the Lego themselves, so they are actually then they join in and they have a conversation about the topic that the guest is interested in. So there comes that's a way to create that vibe, isn't it, or that energy between the guest and the staff.
I agree with you totally. And this is why I believe that in order to solve the talent shortage problem, which we will discuss later, okay, but it's this. The employees, they need to change their roles from just providing service to become a host. So if employee is interested in Lego or in flower arrangement, we don't care, but they have this passion. We offer a stage for employees to show their passion. Then we know that employees will be much happier with their job. I really believe that's what we need to do.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Now, imagine this. What would happen if hotels stopped selling rooms and started curating tribes, bringing together like-minded communities through intentional programming rather than transactional amenities?
I really believe that if hotels do it right, you know what? They don't need to worry about seasonality anymore. Why? Because people's passion to Lego, to golf, to ski, it doesn't have seasonality. People want to play golf as long as the weather is good. It doesn't matter whether it is a high season or low season, right? So I really believe that if we can develop our own niche market and we count down the like-minded people's love for their passion, then we no longer need to worry about occupancy seasonality. And because the occupancy is stable, as you know, hoteliers are very sensitive about price because they know customers are price sensitive. But when the occupancy has become stable, the hoteliers will be more confident to increase the room rate.
Yep.
You know, so not only when we'll have a stable occupancy, we will have the courage to increase the room rate. That means the revenue will increase.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine now that some of the listeners will say, whoa, building a community, I never done that before. I know how to make sure that I'm selling rooms, and I create maybe layers of services, and I'm hoping that the guests will like this. But what is, in your opinion, is a problem, and what is needed to be successful in building a community? What are the things that hotels should focus on?
Okay, I think the first thing is this: we need to try different things. So for example, some hotels are already doing this. They have yoga class in the morning. They have a running class or running club in the afternoon or in the morning, right? They have cooking class in the afternoon. So they are all trying different things. And I believe that that's what hoteliers need to do. First, you need to try some programs. Then you will be able to find something you are really confident with. So what do I mean by that? You know, everybody is offering cooking classes. Can you find something different? So for example, one of your employees is very good at Lego or actually is an artist. He knows how to paint. Well, then ask these people to offer a class. And don't expect the entire hotel will come to this class. No, let's start with just 5 people, 10 people, 15 people. And even if nobody show up, that's fine. That teach you something because you know that, okay, our guests certainly are not interested in this, right? So I think what we need to do is really start trying. And even if nobody shows up, we still learn. So it will take time. Over time, you will realize, okay, you know what? I have internal employees who are very good at teaching people about making sushi, okay, and the spring cleaning, all right, and the Lego. And you will attract this kind of customer who are interested in sushi, cleaning, and the Lego.
Very good. Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, we were touching earlier about briefly about the talent drain, and part of the things that I have had conversations with hotel school principals also that they're looking at the percentage of hotel school students that actually stay in the industry. They're moving to other things. What is your opinion? Why the industry has a talent drain? Is it the long hours or doing the jobs that don't match their ambition? I mean, if you ask somebody who is interested in something and they end up being the one who is being put into the what I call the high efficiency training program, like I did when I started, that they put me in the kitchen to wash pots and pans, and I couldn't stand it, but and I still thought, okay, I'll stick with it because I'm sure there's something else I will do. But I think the generation that we have now, maybe there's maybe not as passionate about saying, well, I'm going to watch Pot and Pan because I will be general manager one day. I think how can we entice the generation to join the industry and actually stay there? What do we have to do?
Okay, I think there are a few things we can discuss. But I believe that, first of all, I totally agree with you. Okay, the traditional hotel industry want people to start from the bottom and slowly work their way up. Well, the young people don't want to invest their time this way. They don't want to do it. So then we have management training. Basically, okay, 1 to 2 years is a fast track. Now, when they finish the fast track, they can hang in there for another 2-3 years. But then remember, we are not just competing against our competitors. Other industries also open their doors for our industry. And I think that's one thing we need to change our industry's image. I'm glad that now people are all talking about AI and technology. Because when people are dreaming about technologies can solve everything, I think we should go for the other end. Technology, when everybody is using technology, there's no differentiation. But on the other hand, we can differentiate from others because we have human touch. And some people probably are not good at offering human touch, but some people actually enjoy that more than working with technology or working with computers. And this is one thing we have to say that, you know what, not everybody wants to sit in front of computers. This industry gives you opportunity to interact with customers. And every day is going to be different. You are going to get social rewards. So I think, basically this is one thing I believe that technology provides us an opportunity, and we will see if the image of the industry will change. But then another thing I want to emphasize is we need to treat our employees better. In the past, we always put our customers here, our employees here. Nobody wants to wake up and do this. They don't want to be the server. We need to change the social status. We all know that Ritz-Carlton say we are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. But over time, it becomes like this. And I believe in the future, it has to change to this. Otherwise, people will not stay. And customers, I hope over time also realize that when they are looking at their legal expert, sushi master, the way they treat our employees will be different from now. Because now I think it's this. If our social status can be improved, then I believe that we will be able to attract more young talent to join our industry.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I have just maybe just a couple of questions before we move into our next segment. Is that, and I always ask all my guests is, besides what we talked about, what other trends do you see happening in hospitality that the hoteliers should take note of now?
I think there are 3 things. The first one is AI and technology have become like the solution for everything. I believe that is wrong. I really believe that is wrong. Okay. And if we buy into this fantasy of AI and technology will solve everything, we only postpone our problem. So that's one. The second one is more and more people are willing to spend money on buying experiences. But what does the hotel industry doing? Offering a limousine, a suite, and a nice meal. To me, those are very basic. What is a memorable experience? What is that? And the third one is about mixed use hotel development. Everybody is talking about that, but everybody has the same narrative. Everybody has the same narrative. Are we really that good to get a long stay customers, to get the day use customer, to get those people who are basically just need to have a co-working space? Are we really that good? Or we are doing the same thing like what we did before? Everybody will come in, it's the same product. It's not going to work, right? So what is the new narrative in order to really create a value proposition to attract different customers to come to your hotel? I think that's the most important question.
Well, I think the listener will need to have a deep thinking about this and before they go to sleep and maybe dream about really what they can do for the next step. So very, very good observations. Well, the final is very short answer. Basically, people who want to reach out to you and want to learn about what you're doing and how can they reach you? Are you on LinkedIn or is there an email or
LinkedIn.
website where they can reach you?
Yeah, my LinkedIn is the best. I really like LinkedIn, and I really hope that somebody will reach out to me on LinkedIn, and then we can stay in touch.
Very good. So if you contact Maggie on LinkedIn, just mention that you saw us here on the Social Hotelier, because it will also mean to me that you have paid attention to this episode with Maggie. So fine. Now we are moving into a little bit more of a should I call it? We're stepping out into our off the mic segment, and that's maybe one of my favorite segments because it is that where we move beyond the framework of research, strategy, and get to know the human behind the thinking. So, are you ready for a few questions?
Very good. Yes.
Okay. If hospitality were a spice in your kitchen, which one would it be and why?
It's going to be lemongrass because it's so refreshing.
Very good. Good answer. What's a belief about leadership you once held strongly that you completely outgrow?
If you cannot measure it, you cannot manage it. I'm really tired of this because, this belief drives everybody's attention to what is measurable. Okay. But what is manageable is not the entire thing. And I really hope people will expand their mindset. Think about something not measurable, but still important.
Yeah. If you had to run a hotel designed only for one type of guest energy, introverts, visionaries, rebels, romantics, who would you choose?
I'm going to choose introverts because I'm actually an introvert. But I really like spending time with other introverts. Okay. And then we go back to like-minded people, right? So I think it's actually quite easy to get us excited. It's the thing about nerds. When nerds together, they are really happy together. So I think that's what I would do.
Very good. And what's the most unacademic habit you swear by?
I really like to take long-haul business class trips. Okay. I just enjoy it. I think, you know what? At the end of the day, I don't know why, but I feel like that's the time I really feel like being treated like a VIP.
Very good. If your work had a soundtrack, what genre would dominate and what would surprise us?
I cannot answer this question. This one is very good, but I don't have an answer for this. Yeah.
Any particular music that you put on?
Ambient music. I'm very strange. I like to listen to natural sound. And what happens is I can immediately go into flow when I listen to natural sound. Waterfall, ocean, birds. Yeah.
Very good, but that's like a soundscape style of thing that where you
exactly.
can get a feel. Okay.
Exactly.
What question do you wish more hotel owners would ask themselves before launching a concept?
What differentiates your hotel from others? Where do you find employees? I really believe these two questions are so important, but most hotel developers, they just don't answer this honestly.
Yeah, I mean, what happens is that they usually want to have a hotel design according to the type of hotel they like to stay themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they don't think about who will work for them. They think about they can steal it from somebody else. No, I don't think so.
Yeah. If you could install one invisible behavior rule into every hospitality executive's mind, what would it be?
I hope all the hotel executives will move away from lip service and really recognize each individual employee's contribution. So instead of generically say that, oh, thank you very much, I'm really grateful for your service, they will say that, Sam-Erik, thank you so much for inviting me on this podcast. So it's specific addressing an individual for specific behavior. If an if an executive can do things in this way, that will touch the employee's heart. I really hope more executives will move away from their laptops or mobile phone and just observe their employees and give them this kind of small feedback on a regular basis. That will make their employees feel so recognized and feel so happy.
Very good. What's something you're deeply curious about right now that has nothing to do with your field?
Health. Yep. Right? Something we take for granted, but actually we need to think about it, because when you don't have it, your life change, right?
Yeah, that's so
Yes.
true. Yeah, I mean, this is something that is on my mind quite often these days. I mean, I never thought I would live forever, but you have to be reality check that one of these
Exactly.
days
Exactly.
and you have to just observe your body and try to give a healthier life and a more positive mindset to what you're doing.
And this is one thing I want to say, that, when we think about what to make people happy, right? Most people think about the next promotion, the next salary increase, right? The next title. But at the end of the day, what make people happy? Health
That's right.
and the good relationships with your loved ones, right? So I think if you think about this too, you cannot spend any money to get it. And they are the most precious things. It's free, okay? But you need to work on that.
Very good. Well, thank you, Maggie. This was very interesting answers, and now we know a little bit more about you. So that was very, very nice. So thank you very much for everyone who have joined our podcast, and I really appreciate my guest who has been taking the time to discuss all these very interesting aspects about hospitality. So my guest was Dr. Meng-Mei Chen, or I call her Maggie here, and she has written several books and articles. So I think I encourage you to take the time and read out. And I can see that many of her articles are be seen on the hospitality and travel newsletters. So highly I recommend that. And then if you enjoy this show, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe. And if you listen it as an audio version, as a podcast, then please leave your comment. That will mean the world to me. So thank you very much again, and see you next time. And let's stay tuned.